everybody, welcome back to another video of Trek Talk here on the Wojciech Experience, where idiots are still always us, always me, always. Anyway, sorry that I haven't kept up with videos for the last couple of weeks concerning the new episodes of Star Trek Discovery, but there has been some things going on at work. Like I said before, I do have a full-time job, and we had a COVID scare, and we all had to go get tested for COVID-19, and because I was exposed, and we had some people off. So because I thankfully tested negative, I was able to still work, but I had to pick up extra shifts, stay later, and everything, and it was just chaotic. But I'm back now, so we're going to be doing a recap on episodes 6, 7, and 8 in this video. So here we go with that. Episode 6 finds Book has been captured and is forced to work as a slave at this like salvage place that the Orions and the Andorians set up. And he manages to get a message to Michael, and she asks Saru if they could go and help him out, because apparently he's found another black box from one of the ships that blew up during the burn. But because Starfleet has ordered Discovery to stand by to jump to this important mission should the need arise, Saru's like, we can't go. And Burnham's like, well, I'll go. And he's like, no. So what does she do? She takes Giorgio and she goes without authorization. And when we get to this planet that has this salvage operation going on, find out a little bit more about our big baddie of the season, Osira. And apparently we also meet Osira's nephew, who's in charge of this salvage yard. So Michael and Giorgio walk around trying to figure out a way to get Book out and get the black box that they need. And while this is all going on, Giorgio has some kind of flashback thing going on that we don't really know about and what's going on, but it kind of affects her in a big way. And also, while all this is going on in the planet, back on Discovery at Federation headquarters, Saru's like, hey, where's Michael? And Tilly is like, yeah, she went without permission. But instead of defending Burnham's decision, and instead of trying to talk Saru out of going to the Admiral, Tilly's like, yeah, you should tell the Admiral. So, which of course he does later on. But in the course of the episode, Michael and Giorgio break out Book and break out a few other slaves, I guess, and basically trash the planet where the salvage place is. And they get back on board Book's ship and they head back to Discovery. So at the end of the episode, we find out that she did get the black box, and she is also thinking about this new information, because apparently when the burn happened, it didn't happen at once. Ships blew up at like microseconds from each other, which, you know, is a big deal to know this information, as to know what caused the burn and all this. But of course, at the end, Michael gets in trouble for her rogue mission, but she doesn't get put in a brig because she saved lives and she brought back some useful information. But Saru is not a happy camper, and he ends up demoting her from first officer back down to chief science officer. And she basically agreed with Saru on everything, and that was that. So that was a really brief recap of episode 6, which then leads into episode 7. And in this episode, basically, Michael and Tilly are examining the evidence from the black box that she got from the previous episode, and they determined once and for all that the burn, you know, had a specific place of when it happened, and it all didn't happen at once. And she also found out that there's a network of sensors in subspace that have pretty much recorded what happened, but there's no data available. So she determines that whoever put the sensor network up just never shared their findings with the Federation. So she goes to Admiral Vance and explains all this, and he informs her that the people who put up the sensor network are actually the Vulcans, and we also find out that the planet Vulcan is not the planet Vulcan anymore. It is now called Navarre, due to the fact that the reunification that started way back in Star Trek The Next Generation's Unification Parts 1 and 2, with Leonard Nimoy guest starring in those episodes of Spock, basically found out that Spock succeeded in reuniting the Romulans and the Vulcans, even though it happened centuries after Spock died and everything, and they are both now living on Vulcan, now called Navarre. And of course, Burnham and Saru are like, the Romulans are bad guys. They must be the reason why the Vulcans aren't part of the Federation anymore, and the reason why this stuff isn't being shared. But the Admiral says that it was actually the Romulans that wanted to stay in the Federation, while the Vulcans voted to pull out of the Federation. So, basically, a founding member of the Federation is no longer in the Federation anymore. But because Burnham is Spock's adoptive sister, the Admiral's like, we need to get that data. We need to establish diplomatic relations with them again. So let's send Discovery, with Burnham being the main ambassador. So they jump to Vulcan, or should I say Navarre. They jump to Navarre, and that's where they meet the Vulcan president of the planet and everything. And she asks for them to share the data, and they're like, no. So basically, Michael does this ancient Vulcan challenge where they can have this big forum where they can talk about it and see if she can convince him to give Starfleet the data. And she also gets an advocate from the Kulat Malat. And it actually turns out it's Burnham's birth mother, which we last saw last season in Discovery, because she was the original Red Angel. But apparently when she went back into the future, she didn't land where she was supposed to. She was taken in by the Kuat Malat and basically became one of them. And as you remember, when they appeared in Star Trek Picard, they go by the moniker of absolute candor, where they tell the truth all the time, no matter what. So during the course of this whole forum and everything, Michael's mother manages to get Michael to finally be honest with herself and with other people about how she's been feeling and why she wants the data and all this stuff. And of course, because she landed into the future a year before Discovery, she ended up doing this whole new life for a year, being a courier and being with Book and all that stuff. So she doesn't really, she's like having doubts if she really belongs on Discovery and in Starfleet. But during the course of the episode, she does get the data at the end, and she says goodbye to her mother again as she stays behind. And so they get the data of that network that they created. We also get some information on the dilithium situation, but I'll talk more about that after I go over the recap of episode 8. So in episode 8, Book gets a message from his brother, which, of course isn't his actual biological brother, but a really close friend that, you call your brother. That there's something going on their home planet with these locusts are like eating up the crops and stuff, and he requests help. And so Book brings this to the Admiral and Burnham and Saru, and the Admiral says, hey, let's go and let's see what we can do here. And so they jump to Book's home planet. And of course, while they're down on the surface trying to figure out what's going on there, Osira, our main bad guy this season, shows up. And of course, during the episode, a couple episodes ago, down on the Salvage Planet, one of the Andorians kind of flips sides and is no longer with Osira, but is, trying to get redemption for himself, I guess. And of course, he is now a fugitive from Osira, and Osira wants him back, and they demand that Discovery give him up, but of course Discovery doesn't. And so basically, Osira starts assaulting the planet and firing on it, and the security grid that's surrounding the planet is starting to weaken, and things aren't going so well between Book and his brother, and they're kind of feuding about their perspectives on some things. And basically, during the course of this whole thing, they do reconnect as the episode goes. And then we also get Detmer trying to overcome her fears, and she does succeed in overcome her fears, especially with her, all the stuff that she went through with getting Discovery to the future, the wormhole, crash in Discovery, and all that stuff. She has some post-traumatic stress, and she faces that. She pilots Book's ship, and with the Andorians' help, manages to disable it. And of course, Osira is pretty mad and vows revenge on not only Discovery, but what's left of the Federation. So, of course, at the end, they manage to solve the locust problem and basically save the planet. But of course, danger's looming for the rest of the season, and I'm really, curious to see what happens there. So basically, those are recaps. So let me talk about some other stuff that I kind of skipped, but just wanted to go over in general from the last 3 episodes. That basically that little lullaby melody that everybody's been humming or playing on the cello and all that stuff basically has something to do with what's going on with the burn, because with all the data they got from Navarre and from the black boxes, Burnham and Tilly and Stamets and Adira and all them, they were actually able to determine the origin of the burn in this nebula, and it's given out this weird noise that if you filter out some of the interference, you hear this melody being played. So I'm curious as to what's going on there. Don't know exactly what's going on, but I know that they'll show us in future episodes, and I just can't wait to find out what's been going on with the burn and this melody. And of course, in regards to Michael, she decides to stay with the Discovery and stay in Starfleet after she was finally honest with herself and everybody when she was in that forum in Navarre. And her and Book have finally become an official couple. But we all kind of knew that was going to happen anyway, didn't we? So, yeah. But I'm glad that Burnham is actually, happy now, and she's, enjoying her time with Book and this new relationship. And I also love the scenes between Stamets and Adira. Adira confides in Stamets about she's still seeing her boyfriend, or I shouldn't say her because she's non-binary. Their boyfriend, still seeing him there, even though he died some time ago. And she confides in Stamets about this, and of course he's not freaked out about it because, basically when Culber died in season 1, he kind of was, still seeing him, especially when he was trapped inside the mycelial network. So I love that they have created a somewhat of a bond, and it kind of almost, Stamps is kind of like almost being like a father to Adira. So, and even Culber notices that he's been kind of like, smiling and beaming a little bit, when they're together, and when he talks about, I said her again, them, when he talks about them. That's, until I get used to the pronouns of that's just forgive me on that. I'm still trying to get used to that. And also, Tilly has been kind of promoted here. She's still an ensign, but Saru has made her his acting first officer now that he demoted Burnham back down to just science officer. So it's a position in name only, but not in rank, which means, yes, she's second in command, but she's still an ensign. And this is, as Saru puts it, just until he finds a permanent replacement. So I don't know how long this is going to be, that she's going to be in this position of being first officer or not. There are many candidates that Saru could choose from, but so who knows if maybe he'll keep Tilly as first officer on a permanent basis at some point. And I will not be, too... Basically, I would accept this if he, gives Tilly that position on a permanent basis. I think Tilly has proven herself over the last 3 years, and she really deserves to have this position. But as I said in previous videos, I'm really loving this season of Discovery. It is now more optimistic, more uplifting. It's not so much doom and gloom, especially with Burnham. Her character change is being more relaxed, more lighter, more, more joyful. But of course, she still, has that problem with disobeying orders and going off on her own, But I do love the cast, the way that they have been getting along with the new characters, and the way that they have integrated themselves into Discovery's established cast. It just seems that, they were just, how can I put it? That they are very comfortable, fitting in with the established members, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm standing here in the cold right now, so my brain might be freezing up a little bit. But anyway, that's my takeaways from the last 3 episodes. Like I said, I'm sorry I didn't get them out as I normally do a couple of days after they air. But this whole thing with COVID just, hit us at work, and I just got real busy with trying to keep everything going with my coworkers being out and different things going on. So, but it's been a few weeks. Things are starting to slowly get back to normal at work. So hopefully I'll be back into doing these recaps and my thoughts on these episodes as individual episodes, and not a bunch of them all strung together. But with that, that's going to about do it for this video. So as always, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for future videos, and give me a thumbs up and a like and all that good stuff. Don't forget to, if you want to comment, give me some comments down below on what's going on, your thoughts on this new season of Discovery. And of course, if you want to follow me on Instagram, the link for that is down below. And of course, TikTok, if you want to follow me on TikTok, the link for that is down below. And let's not forget Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter, and that link is also down below. And so with that, I will see you all in the next video. Live long and prosper, and bye!